This week on the Computer Chronicles, cyber dating. Syndicated columnist and author Larry Magid joins us for a guide to virtual online hangouts. We'll visit Cupid's network on the web to check out the action there, and we'll take a look at Net Noir on America Online. Plus, meet Dr. Judith, a counselor who specializes in online romances, and a look behind the scenes at one online dating service called Match.com. All this and Giles Online, this week's news, my pick of the week, all coming up next on the Computer Chronicles.
Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by SoftSource Incorporated, publishers of Pro One Software, educational software for young adults. And by Upside, the business magazine for the technology elite.
Hi, and welcome to the Computer Chronicles. I'm Stuart Chaffee. One of the most bizarre aspects of the growing cyber life is the number of couples who meet, fall in love, and even get married online. There are a variety of sites where you can do this, and here to give us a guided tour is Larry Magid. Hi, Larry.
Hi.
You're not the same as Leisure Suit Larry,
No,
are you?
I'm Larry's World, Larry.
Larry's World, okay. Give us a basic introduction. What are the different kinds of places you can go to online if you're interested in meeting someone?
Well, the first thing you can do is these computer bulletin boards, and they've been around forever. They're private boards. You know the number you dial in. Sometimes you pay a membership fee. But now the real growth is on the internet. And on the internet, you have a number of options. You've got websites that we're going to show you in a little while. You've got chat rooms, IRC, Internet Relay Chat, or these web-based chat areas where you can just interact by typing. You've got news groups where you can post messages, and then sometime later people respond. And then you've got a number of specialized areas. We'll get to that.
Right, well, let's take a look at some of the choices right now. Let's look at some of the sort of official matchmaking services you were talking about.
We're on Larry's World here, and there's an article that I posted called Dating and Romance on the Net. And so we've got a number of matchmaking, and one interesting one is called computerized matchmaking online.
So there's a lot of choices as you
there are tons of them.
As you've listed in there.
And then computerized matchmaking, you remember, or maybe some people don't remember, but back in the old days of Univac, they had these computerized matchmaking services. And here it is, a modern day version. You fill out a questionnaire, you give your age, your sex.
So who are you, who are you looking for,
your
what do you
sexual
want,
preference, and you know, and basically their computer matches you with another person or group of people who meet your profile.
And you just wait for some hits to come back.
And if you're lucky, you meet your dream person.
All right, so that's an example of a matchmaking service. Now, we've got chat rooms, as you mentioned.
Right, and there's the Internet Relay Chat, which tends to be a little disorganized. You sort of catch as you catch can. But some companies have set up these actual web-based chat, and you have to download some software. It takes a few minutes. It's free. And once you get into there, you can actually get into a chat area.
So this is unmoderated, sort of. You just walk in like you might into a bar or a bookstore or something. You just meet whoever's there.
And you can do that through the web or through the IRC.
Okay.
Then here we've got...
news groups, as you mentioned.
You mentioned news groups. And then you've got some specialized areas. There's one kind of fun one called Cyrano. And Stuart, you remember Cyrano de Bergerac.
And it helps you come up with those beautiful, flowery words to woo your loved one.
Exactly. He wasn't good looking, but he was a very good writer. Well, you may or may not be good looking. You are, certainly. But Cyrano can help you write a love letter, can help you write a letter to dump somebody if you have to do that. And all you do is you fill out certain information. You tell it whether you want it to be steamy or what you want.
And he writes the letter for you.
He writes the letter for you. And here's an example of one that he wrote, a little Valentine for somebody. Put a picture in there. And it's, I wouldn't exactly say it's X-rated, but it's definitely...
You want to edit this stuff before you actually
take a good hard look at it, or you might be embarrassed.
All right, now, final point. If you do meet someone online in a chat room or something like that, what are the cautions? What should you make sure you do to make sure you don't get hurt by this?
Well, the most dangerous thing is if you actually physically meet them somewhere and they turn out to be a real creep. So if you're going to set up a meeting, make sure it's in a public location like a restaurant. There are other people around. If it turns out you're uncomfortable, at least you've got a safe out. And then the other danger is that you could lose your heart. You could be in a situation where you actually put a lot of energy into an online relationship that doesn't
sort of
go anywhere.
cyber affairs that people
Exactly,
have.
and if you're in a real relationship, you know, take that very seriously before you risk it. A lot of people have really essentially performed some kind of an affair online that really has upset their mate.
Thank you very much, Larry.
My pleasure.
All right, well, while some people are meeting online using computers, the real old-fashioned matchmaking services who introduce people face-to-face are also using computers to bring Mr. Right together with Miss Perfect.
John Michael spends a lot of time in cafes and bars, but he isn't there to drink. John is meeting his clients, people who are looking for personal introductions to potential partners. John Michael Introductions is a matchmaking service that travels both in person and via the internet.
It's like choosing a doctor. I mean, your health is important to you. So it's important to me that I find somebody who cares about my future and takes relationships seriously, and that's what's important to me. Somebody, because this is somebody I'm considering spending my life with, you know, and I want John to help me find someone that I can do that with.
John does operate a dating service online called Global Match for people who want to do their own matchmaking. But he decided to keep that separate from the personal side of the business. Instead, he exchanges potential partners with matchmakers around the world through a private, password-only database.
The internet link adds a database that is basically, I don't know how else to describe it, but it's unlimited. Matchmakers could add their clients in a confidential way by first name and basic criteria without giving their phone numbers and, you know, specific information. Other matchmakers could log on and they could share that database.
Even with the impersonal internet service, John keeps the face-to-face links alive, meeting frequently with other matchmakers such as SJ International in San Francisco. It's still his preferred way to bring two people together.
Ireland was, we were going over this morning on the way up here, and Ireland knows a gentleman that owns a restaurant. Is it Carl? In Sausalito.
Yes, Carl.
The profession of matchmaking is an old and traditional one, which John hopes to modernize through the internet. But regardless of the means, the goal hasn't changed.
Wedding? No bells yet, but it's in the making. It's in the making.
For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Giles Bateman.
Believe it or not, some sophisticated technology is being used these days to make online matchmaking more efficient. One example is a new singles channel on the web launched by a group called American Singles, and that's your baby, Dan. Let me ask you about that. You are using something called backweb technology, which is new. Explain how that works.
Instead of going out to the web to gather information, the web comes to you. It's a push technology instead of a pull technology.
So you don't actually sit there and have to pull down stuff. It on its own pushes stuff down to your computer.
Right, like
what?
once a day you'll get matches that fit your criteria that you're looking for in a person.
So if I've signed up with American Singles, I say I'm so-and-so and I'm looking for this kind of person, and I'm busy here working on my word processor, and what happens?
Well, what'll happen is a little heart will drop out from the top of the screen here. There it goes, and a heart will hit it.
Boing, we found
Boing.
some connections for you.
Right, we've got some people for you. And so all you do is you click on it, and what you'll do is you'll get a list of the matches that we came up for you, and all you do is you select on them.
All right, so if I was Tim in Cleveland, I said I was looking for whatever, and it said here's 10 potential partners for you, huh?
Right, and then what it'll launch the web browser for you, and you'll see the match.
So there's Lisa, who's 25 years old, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and you can just sort of scroll through those
Right,
people?
exactly. You can just go through, and there's a lot of detail in each person's profile.
Yeah. Now suppose I find one of these people that I'd like to meet further. What do I do?
Well, we have a number of ways of contacting the people, certainly email in most cases, but for those who don't have email, and we actually do have some members who don't want to use their email address, we offer the option of regular snail mail, where someone can send us a letter and we will go ahead.
So you have the real mail address. Though.
Right, and but the person who advertises, I mean, it never gets released to the public.
Yeah.
They send it to us and we forward it on.
And so I would fill out the usual kind of profile about my age and who I'm looking
Right.
for and what my hobbies are and so on.
Similar to what you see over here when I get to it. There we go. The backweb subscription form, which actually allows you to go and fill out some of that information right there.
And again, all that matchmaking is taking place by some computer in the background, and when
Right.
it's ready, it just says, hey, I found some stuff for you.
Exactly.
Let's go back to, your homepage here at Cupid's Network. There's some other interesting things like singles events. I can actually find out what's going on in the real world in my town this weekend.
Exactly. You can go in and see events based on your area code or by the city, state. And you can also see the entire events list, so it gives you a lot of details, and it's all over the country.
Okay, now you had something else. You said cool sites for singles, so that'll
Right.
give us a little shortcut. What are some of the ones well, obviously there's your site, American
There's American Singles in there, and we have
another one called
Cupid's Personals and Cupid's Women of the World, which has many women from all around the world, and a couple of other ones. Yeah, right.
Now, let's make clear, you know what you're talking about here because you met your wife online, didn't you?
Right. Met my wife through a personal ad in Prodigy a number of years ago.
All right. Now, secondly, This is really a service to people who live way out there. You've got clients who are using American Singles who live in the Antarctic, you told me?
Yes, we have 3 gentlemen from the Antarctic.
Not too easy to meet some girls in a bar there, I guess.
No, but at least they've got a way of meeting someone that in the future when they come back to the States or wherever they live, that they can go ahead and communicate and meet in person then.
That's great, Dan. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, well, one of the hallmarks of the web is that it can equalize everyone in terms of race or ethnicity, but sometimes you don't want that. You prefer to find a site that brings together people of common interests or heritage. And one good example of that is a new website called Net Noir, and that's your baby here, Dave.
Yes.
What's the basic idea behind Net Noir?
Well, Net Noir, we refer to ourselves as the soul of cyberspace,
Okay.
which is your home for Black interactive entertainment. And we focus on primarily being the Black channel on America Online.
Okay, you're on AOL, but you do have a website
We
also.
do, of course, www.netnoir.com.
Okay, let's take a look at the AOL site here and see some of the things you can do.
Sure. Now, our strategy is not just to focus on content. We focus on bringing people together, so entertaining interactivity, and we do that through a variety of methods, which includes daily polls, message boards, chat rooms, and there's 2 products I'm going to show you right now.
Okay, so these are just activities that people can do together and kind of meet in the normal way you would in the
Precisely.
real world.
And also get an idea of a sense of what the rest of the community is like.
Okay.
For example, the Love and Libido poll, which is kind of fun. We do this daily, and this
do you
question.
find yourself attracted to those who are already taken?
So I don't want to answer
You don't
that.
have to answer
Thank
that
you.
one. I won't put you on the spot
because my
there.
girlfriend's
but,
watching.
But can we find out what the results of one of these polls are?
Sure. I can take you to our archive because it's published the next day, and we have the Love and Libido poll archive. Here's one. Do you yearn for your first love?
Okay, that was one of your questions.
Yeah, and here you can see the response and the breakdown by percentages. And
Okay.
38% said.
Most people are in B.
Exactly. My
First
first
love will
love.
always have a special place, but I don't yearn for him or her.
There
All
you
right.
go.
Oh, okay, they're happy.
So we have an idea. I mean, this is fun. It's interactive and allows.
Now, how would
people
I get to
know-
meet people doing that? I mean,
Oh, well, that in fact, you're not going to. This is a purely an interactive
Just
component.
fun.
But how you meet people is through our area called Club Net Noir.
okay, show me.
And when you join Club Net Noir, what happens is we have you fill out a form, and basically it's gathering psychographic information in general.
So it's got my profile, it's got the profile of
Precisely.
your other members.
What kinds of it's broken down by horoscope, gender, and of course, most importantly, hobby and interest.
Okay, so show me an example of how I'd find somebody who has my same interests.
Here we have a whole list when you fill out the form, anything from cycling to outdoors, travel. Let's go into love and romance.
Everybody's interested in that, or they wouldn't
Most
be here in the
definitely.
first place.
Exactly. And here you have a whole romance collection. And this
So
particular
these are a bunch of women who
person-
are in that category. So let's say Andrea of California.
Exactly. Andrea sent us her photo. She's now actually started at the top. She is female, but she didn't give us her age.
Photo, no age.
No age,
Okay.
but she's very attractive.
Yeah.
Her ethnicity, state that she's in, her other interests. And I want to point this out, and of course she gives us a little bit of a bio. But if you notice, this is just one collection. She's now in the Love and Romance collection. She's also listed other interests such as, for example, travel. And
So
if-
could I hot link to that other subset of people who care about travel?
Precisely. If we go back to this page here on which lists all the hobbies and interests, go into travel, you can find, there she is
There she is again, but
So-
there's other people now.
Exactly, a whole nother slew of other people. So in other words, it's not just romantic, it's just bringing people together. And that's really important for our service, because we're community-based.
Okay, what are other things once I meet someone here, what do I do? I mean, I've seen Andrea and I say, well, she's kind of nice. What do I do now?
You have her email address right here, and basically you're able to, and in the new version of America Online, their client, 3.0, you're able to actually hot link and just shoot up and send off an email directly to her. And then that's how people are actually connecting. We've had one marriage, and we're expecting our new baby, our first baby, in about a month.
This stuff works.
Oh, it definitely works.
Dave, thanks very much.
Thank you.
All right, well, what does happen to people who meet online? Well, as you heard, some get married and live happily ever after, like Michael and Joanne, who met at one site called Match.com.
Michael and Joanne Wegener are married. Mike is from California and Joe is from Nova Scotia. But they did not meet at a bar or a club or through friends. They met, got to know each other, and fell in love on the internet through a service called Match.com.
And I just happened to stumble on Michael's address. I picked him out of the blue. And I thought, oh, I'll pick out this guy, read his profile and see what he's all about. And I read his profile and I was completely floored.
Match.com claims over 100,000 subscribers, among which 30% are women. The goal was to find a way to make the service appeal to women.
Well, we wanted to open it up to everybody. You know, the internet, the power of the internet is that everybody can participate, right? And what good is it if there's just a bunch of guys online?
Besides a friendly, non-techie interface, Match.com features electronic mail, photographs, and a database. A new member completes a personal profile, which can be as detailed or as vague as she likes. The search for compatible partners can be just as detailed or not. But maybe the most important aspect is keeping the service safe.
We've tried to make it feel safe and comfortable, so we've done things like you exchange email anonymously, you have to verify who you are. That sort of security features are very important to women.
Some people look at Match.com as a way to find friends with similar hobbies or pen pals around the world. Others may be looking for something more serious, and once in a while, they find it.
To me, it became fun, but it was all of a sudden Joe showed up. And it was just like out of nowhere came this woman that if I'd met her in a bar, or I don't know if I would ever gotten to know her as much as gotten to know her on the net.
For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Giles Bateman.
If you fall in love online, odds are you may also get your heart broken online, so you need a counselor and some cyber love advice. That's the specialty of Dr. Judith. Dr. Judith is out there in cyberspace somewhere. You there, Dr. Judith?
Yes, I am, Stuart.
Okay, I've got your website up here, and tell me what's the basic idea. Why do people come to you for advice to the lovelorn online?
Well, basically, Stuart, they're wanting someone that they can tell their most intimate details to. And they can do that online without looking me eye to eye.
So it's kind of a little bit safer, a little more private online in a way.
Certainly is. They really enjoy that.
Let me ask you, I took a look here. In fact, let's go to the next page, and you kind of post a weekly column here. You had one letter from somebody who had a kind of serious problem. Their partner had talked about committing suicide. What did you tell that person?
Well, basically, Stuart, when it comes to suicide, that's something you want to deal with immediately. And that tells you just how serious the relationships online can get. This partner was about to commit suicide, and so the other one felt like since they're committing suicide, I might as well take my life too. So I responded immediately.
Do you have situations, we hear a lot about the so-called cyber affair, where you've got sort of a happily married person in the real world and they sort of fall in love with someone online. Have you dealt with that problem?
Yes, I certainly have, both online and in my office.
And what do you tell people? I know you can't generalize too much, but what do you tell someone like that?
Well, for one thing, if they're married, they better end that affair immediately.
The cyber affair?
Yes.
Because this is the same, an affair is an affair, you're saying?
That's correct.
Okay, what else? Any other general advice about the dangers of this kind of thing?
Well, you're looking, when you talk about meeting online, it's beware.
Yeah.
Everyone is not always as honest as you may be. So know what you're dealing with out there.
All right, let's go to some of the sites that I know you are interested in and think are good places to meet. I'm calling up one here which is called The Dating Connection. What would you say about that?
Yes, well, The Dating Connection is an excellent site, Stuart, as well as Rendezvous Online Dating. There's Romance Online.
Let's do one at a time. We're looking at Dating Connection right now. What do you like about it?
Well, Dating Connection publishes the results. They say that they have about 600 marriages and engagements that they're responsible for. They also have a list of common abbreviations, which is very helpful.
Yeah, I see that right here, which is cool, so you can read those personal ads. Huh?
Sure, that really helps. They've got C for Christian, HWP, height, proportionate, SOH, sense of humor. That's a unique one.
All right, you mentioned another one here, which is Rendezvous. What do you like about this site?
Yes, Rendezvous, beautiful site. They not only cater to their members, but also to guests. They're one of the most romantic opening pages that I have seen.
Okay. There's another one here. We're looking a little bit more romance online and what you can do there. Then Romantasy Island. What in the world is this?
Okay, Romantasy Island. They have a village area where members receive discounts on items purchased. Beautiful, beautiful site. There's also an East in Eden, which caters to African Americans. Another gorgeous site to pull up. And of course, you've already mentioned Match.com.
All right, finally, how serious is this cyber dating stuff? I mean, is this really becoming an important new way to meet people as opposed to the bar, the bookstore, the newspaper column?
I would say it's an excellent way to meet people as long as you're very cautious in your relationships.
All right, but this is serious business, as you suggest. Don't think this is just some little play on the side.
That's correct. Now, a lot of people will use it for that, Stuart.
Yeah.
But it is not.
And as you say, you got to be careful you don't really know who you're dealing with.
That's right.
Dr. Judith, thank you so much for joining us.
You're sure welcome.
Well, there are lots of places to go on the web and on the commercial online services to meet people. Here are a couple of other suggestions from our webmaster, the happily married Giles Bateman.
Yes, Stuart, I am. Thank you very much. But just because I didn't find my wife on the internet doesn't mean your special someone isn't out there somewhere online. Now, if you want to find them, one of the places you might start is America Online's chat rooms, as they're called. You can either click on the chat button up here or go to the People Connection. That's what America Online calls it. And when you get here, click on List Rooms. You'll find different categories of rooms. And click on Romance. You'll get a list of all the romance-related chat rooms going on. Now, these are pretty much a free-for-all. And although most people are very well behaved in this, you will get some weirdos now and then. So you've got to be careful and sort of expect anything when you go into these rooms. Now, if you want something that's a little more organized, click on the button here in the People Connection called the Plaza. You'll get different categories here. You'll be able to click on the Romance channel. And what this will do is it will link you up with all these different services, everything from ABC's Love Online to AstroMates. Now, if you're on the internet, not on America Online, and you're really serious about finding somebody, finding a match, go to the Silicon Matchmaker Electronic Pen Pal Network. This is a collection of over 37 different Unix systems all across the United States. They ask you a 57-question questionnaire, and then they'll help match you up from people from all these different databases. And it is a pay-per-service thing, but if you're serious, it might be worth it. Here you can see all the different places people are using the service from, so they pretty much got you covered. Love American Style. Now, last but not least, if you're really open-minded, you'll want to check out NetLove. This book, The 75 Most Erogenous Zones in Cyberspace, covers the gamut of definitions of what love is, everything from flirting to, well, I'll just leave it up to your imagination and probably a little bit beyond.
Thanks, Giles. Time now for our weekly summary of the latest Internet and PC news. Here's Laurie Anderson with this week's Random Access Report.
In the Random Access news this week, in an effort to avoid several lawsuits and ease some customer frustration, America Online has decided to offer subscribers a refund. AOL users will be entitled to a free month's service or a refund of up to 2 months' cost. They also said they will stop signing up new members until it solves its access problem. The move was part of a proposed settlement with 36 states who were threatening lawsuits against the service. AOL's misfortune may have helped one of their competitors. AT&T says it has seen a rise in new subscribers for its WorldNet internet service, thanks in part to America Online's problems. The service has been experiencing 3 times more signups this month as it did last month. In a random poll of over 1,000 new subscribers, 77% say they were calling AT&T because they were dissatisfied AOL customers. Apple Computer may be considering closer ties with industry giants Intel and Microsoft. The New York Times reports that Apple may make a line of computers that run on the Intel microprocessor. Currently, Apple uses microprocessors made by Motorola. Apple is also said to be interested in licensing Microsoft's Windows NT. Speculation came after Microsoft Chairman and CEO Bill Gates visited Apple headquarters earlier this month. And finally, if you're a fan of Chicago-style deep dish pizza but don't live near the Windy City, this will make your mouth water. Chicago pizzeria Giordano's is now offering online ordering for national delivery of their famous stuffed pizza. The pizzas are prepared to your specifications, frozen, and then shipped via Federal Express. Cooking instructions are included to ensure a pizza that tastes like it just came out of Giordano's oven. That's it for this week's news. Back to you, Stuart.
Now for my pick of the week. If you do meet someone you like online, often the next step is to exchange pictures. Well, it would be nice to do that electronically online. And to do that, it helps to have one of the new digital cameras. Here's one I really like because it makes it so easy to dump the digital photos from the camera to your PC and then email it to your new sweetheart. This is the new digital still camera from Sony. It has lots of nice features, including this tilting lens. It has a color viewfinder built in. It does 640 by 480 resolution. It stores over 100 pictures, and it has a rechargeable battery. It's also got a built-in flash, a macro lens, and zoom capability on playback. But what's best about this camera is that it's easy to transfer the pictures from the camera to your PC. If you have an infrared port on your PC, and almost all new computers do, you can just point the Sony camera at your PC. It beams the picture right into your computer, and you don't have to worry about carrying around cables. If you don't have an infrared port, you can still use a cable to view the pictures on your PC or on a TV set. It is the DSE F1 digital camera from Sony. That's it for this week's Chronicles. We'll be back here again next week with more of the best in computer, CD-ROM software, and the Internet. I'm Stuart Chaffee. Hope to see you here next time.
Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by SoftSource Incorporated, publishers of Pro1 software, educational software for young adults. And by Upside, the business magazine for the technology elite. To order a videotape of this program, call 1-800-916-PCTV. Please ask for tapes by show number and title. And for more help in keeping up with the fast-changing world of personal computing, order the Chaffee Letter. Each month, Stuart writes in detail about topics covered on Computer Chronicles and includes his commentaries on the technology that directly affects how you use your computer. To subscribe or for a free trial issue, call 1-800-916-PCTV. The Chaffee Letter, your solution to information overload. For more information on anything you've seen on today's program, check out our website at www.pctv.com.